Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Richard Chrysler, and I'm going to talk to you today about the 700 series experiments, experiment 710, 720, which use the GUNS pressure control apparatus. And this is going to be experiment 3, so process control. So we're going to look at different performance. We're going to evaluate the performance of the system based on different PI and D settings that we're going to use on the system. And what I want you to do is I want you to look at the video for the process dynamics experiment, because that's where I talk a little bit more about the equipment and how to work with the GUNS software. But the one feature that wasn't really discussed in the process dynamics video, which is going to be very important to you, is going to be saving your data. And so we're going to look at that here real quick. And I also have some information about how to save your data already posted here, but I'm going to talk about that with a little bit of detail. So when you first come in, the system is going to be at some steady state based on the parameters that you tell me. So you're going to give me your PI&D parameters that you calculated from your pre-lab worksheet, and you're going to tell me what set point you want to start with. So when you come in, I'll have everything set up as per your instructions, and then the system will be at some steady state. When you first come in, it's a good idea to just clear the graph. And so now what it does is it erases all the old data and has now started data collection again. An important point to note is, and this is, we didn't know this at the beginning of the process dynamics experiments, is that when you save the graph, it will save your data, but only saves the data that's on the screen at the time. And so that's going to be, it's going to be very important that you are able to see all of your data before you save it. And that's all related to this feed time base here. So when you come in, the feed time base, or when you start a trial, I would set the feed time base to a low number, like 120 seconds. Is pretty good to use. And you can set it even smaller, and you can really see the data respond quickly. So the important point, though, is that after you make changes, set point changes, or other changes to your proportional gain, your integral action time, your derivative time, if you want to capture all that information when you save your data, you're going to have to blow this feed time base up so you see all of your data at one time. So let's assume that I've been running this for a while, like 10 or 15 minutes, and I want to save the data. I'll need to blow this up. And what I'm going to wait for just here for a second, I'm going to wait for this to get all the way to the end of this screen. Because once it does that, it's going to restart data, or it's going to restart the graph and start plotting new data up here. Now the problem is that once that happens, if I go to save the graph right now, it will only save the data that's displayed on the screen. So once it does this, I can, and if I go to save the graph right now, it won't save the data that was just on the screen a few seconds ago. In order to do that, I want to blow this up to a large number, and it won't display it may not display the data very well at that setting, but there we go. That's just enough so that I can see all the data on here. But I would use a large feed time base, depending on how long you run the apparatus. Use a large feed time base so you make sure you get all of it. You should see some space here before and perhaps even some space after your data, and make sure you have it all. And then you click Save Graph, and you'll give it some unique name. And save it on the desktop. And there it is. And you can open this up directly in Excel. And so there's your experimental data there. Now here's another important point. When you go to restart your data collection, it's best to set the feed time base back to a low number and then clear graph. And so then before I make any other changes to either my set point or my PI and D parameters, I want to let the system run for a little while so I have that initial steady state data, and then make my changes, and then I can capture them with the new chart. So that's pretty much it. Again, please look at the video not only for the process control experiments, but also the process dynamics video will give you a little bit more information about the Gunt apparatus. And if you go to the Course Blackboard website, there's data sheets for the Gunt apparatus posted on Blackboard, or will be posted on Blackboard. I did send those out via email to everyone, so everyone should have them via email if you can't find it on Blackboard. But at any rate, look forward to seeing you for the process control experiments, and I think you're really going to enjoy this last series of experiments. Thank you very much.